Welcome to the Bank First Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
Welcome to another Bank First Ranger Hour. We thank you for joining us this morning. It's morning, not morning. I don't know. I do this for a living. It's 9:07, and we will discuss Northwest Community College today between now and 10 a.m. with a lot of different things to get to. We'll have our first guest come up in about 13 minutes, and that will be Dr. Tonyalle Rush, Vice President of Student Services and Enrollment Management. We'll chat about different things. There are some camps going on next week that we need to talk about. Orientation dates are coming up. And as we have mentioned a couple of times, and I know Dr. Heindel mentioned when he was in studio here and we discussed enrollment continues to increase. It's done so over the last 4 years. We'll talk about that with Dr. Rush also on this morning's program. After a break, we're going to get into the world of athletics and continue to introduce you to a couple of, well, we have introduced you already to the brand new men's basketball head coach. We'll talk with his new assistant coach as well. Coach Aaron McIntyre is going to be on with us, the new assistant men's basketball coach. We find out it's a little crossover ties with us, as we'll get into that discussion around 9:35. So we'll do that, and then I have other sports news and different things to get to before our time is done with this version of the Bank First Ranger Hour. So again, today we'll talk academic side of things with Dr. Tonyalle Rush, plus some camps. Some national champions will be hosting camps coming up next week, and then we'll get into different things with orientation. We'll get into the increase in enrollment, continued talk on that. And then we'll get into another introduction with Coach Aaron McIntyre, new assistant men's basketball coach, to join us. Let's get into this Northwest discussion. This is the Bank First Ranger Hour, so let's get rolling. Dr. Tonyalle Rush joins us next.
This hour is Everything Northwest, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College, and powered by Bank First. Thanks for joining us on the Bank First Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
As always, that text message line is up. You know the other ways in social media to get with us. We usually tell you those each and every day. Second half of the program, we're going to get into athletics with a new assistant men's basketball coach, Aaron McIntyre. We'll get that discussion. But now, and it has been a day or two since we've talked to Dr. Tonyalle Rush, but Dr. Rush is on with us. How are we doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, you know, I told you before we got on that I think I'm doing okay. However, there are some words that just aren't coming out of the old Darb mouth as they should. And when you talk for a living, that's not always the best, but we'll make it work.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I've mispronounced a couple of things, so if I do it again, just we'll put it off to old age, Dr. Rush. You just ignore me and move on, all right?
Oh, you're totally okay.
All right, Vice President of Student Services Enrollment Management. We're going to get into a lot of that different things going on. But first, let's start with some camps and some national champions who are doing things coming up very soon.
Absolutely. I want to say that I'm so proud of our national championship cheer and dance programs, and I have the honor of working with these amazing coaches as well as our amazing student athletes, and we are offering some kids camps next week. And so we're kicking off with our cheer camp on Thursday, June the 12th. It will be hosted by Coach Brandon Casey and our assistant coach, Rainey Bordelon. The camp is one day. It's going to be one afternoon from 1 to 4 p.m. ages 4 through 13, and the cost camp is $40. The students or prospective kids' parents who would like to sign your kids up for this camp, please go to northwestms.edu/tickets, and you can get your tickets there. Upon registration, you'll receive an email containing a PDF packet so that we can have those waivers and things signed so we can take care of your little ones. And if you need any more additional information regarding the cheer camp, you may reach out to and contact Coach Brandon Casey at bcasey@northwestms.edu.
As a dad that has, two youngsters going to different camps really all summer long, how affordable is that you can get involved, get your child, and they can get to meet and work with, whether it's Coach Casey, but some of those members of a national championship cheer or dance group. That when you said the price point, right? That's what old Dad was listening to, right? Knowing how much some camps are and how affordable, Dr. Rush, that one actually is.
Yes, we take, we want to definitely keep the prices affordable as possible. We want children to be able to come and experience this, and our cheerleaders are looking forward to it, our dance team members as well. They're looking forward to having a great afternoon with the kids.
Sure.
And so, yes, that $40, that is going to be for June the 12th, and then I want to also highlight our dance camp, which is Friday, June the 13th, with Coach Patrice Christian. The cost, again, is $40 for one afternoon. The time is from 1 to 4 p.m., and the ages are from 4 to 13. You may also contact Coach Patrice Christian at 901-patricechristian@gmail.com. But you can get those tickets at northwestms.edu/tickets.
Excellent. Do you get to go to Orlando when they go and compete?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I do not miss that at all. I love being there, right there on site, in the midst of all of the excitement and running back and forth to all the different arenas and just being there in real time. It is surreal. It is an amazing experience.
Do you find yourself getting a little anxious watching them compete?
Oh, yes, yes. I'm on the edge of my seat cheering them on and just so excited when I see them. They do so much work. We get an opportunity to see them stunt and tumble, and they do their showcases before we leave to go to Orlando. And they literally leave everything on the mat. All months of just intense trainings and all the things, and literally, their performances are sometimes a minute and 30 seconds, and they have to leave it on the mat. And so proud of them that we have back-to-back national champions, both in cheer and dance.
Yeah, Coach Casey and Coach Christian have done a tremendous job there, and the young men and women that have participated in those things, the hours upon hours they have to put in for that 90 seconds worth of stuff on the mat is amazing, the hard work that they put in.
Yes. And I also would love to speak to, they're not only incredible athletes just on the mat, but they are incredible humans off the mat. And they have so many opportunities to do special appearances and all the things. And they also do really well in the classroom. Both cheer and dance had incredible over 3.0 GPAs for the spring 2025 semester. So their team GPAs are amazing, and so it's great when you have great student athletes that are great people, again, with athletic ability, but also great in the classroom.
Dr. Rush, give us some orientation dates and things. We've had some conversation over the past couple of shows, but if you don't mind, remind us of those.
Absolutely. So we have new student orientation that we are preparing for the fall 2025 semester. So please sign up. If you will go to our northwestms.edu website, click on admissions, and then orientation. They're going to have midway through the page, you're going to have a link that says sign up for new student orientation. We have various dates still available. Orientation is held at the Senatobia campus, DeSoto in South Haven, and our Oxford Center in Oxford. So I'm looking at the current availability at this time. We still have openings at our Senatobia location for July the 15th, starting at 8:30. We have availability at our DeSoto campus for June the 26th. DeSoto again, July the 10th. We also have availability at Oxford, June the 25th, and Oxford, July 16th. So we're kicking off orientation next week, and so if you're already registered, we look forward to hosting you on campus. However, if you have not registered, it is not too late to register for new student orientation. Please go online, fill out our form, and we will make sure that you are taken care of.
Excellent. And I would assume, since in your title, not only do you have student services, but enrollment management, that when you see more increase again, and it has been, now the bullet point that I received said 20% in 4 years, you have to be really pleased with that.
Absolutely, yes. We are very pleased with our increase in enrollment. We're also celebrating 10 consecutive semesters of positive enrollment growth. And so it's just due to the great leadership we have here at the college, the amazing faculty and staff members, and our students. All of this is a group effort. Excellent.
Well, what are we doing throughout the summer? What are you continuing to do to help with Northwest Community College and that enrollment?
Absolutely. Well, a lot of times right now we are wrapping up and getting ready for the orientation sessions. We're also admitting a lot of students. We have summer classes going on, and so if you are a student and needing to take some classes second term in July, it is not too late to register for second summer term classes. Please go online again or give us a call, 662-562-3200, or you may go to our website, northwestms.edu/registration.
You've done an
excellent.
Sign
up today. We're also registering for fall 2025. Classes will begin, our on-campus classes will begin August the 18th. We have online classes that will begin August the 25th. So this is a great time where students can apply, send transcripts, apply for financial aid, all the things. We're here working this summer and ready to do whatever we can to help you have a smooth transition into Northwest Mississippi Community College.
Excellent work, Dr. Rush. Excellent, excellent work.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time this morning. I'll let you get back at it, and hopefully, they won't, keep you so far away again. It's been a little while since we had an opportunity to talk. Maybe it'll be a little sooner, okay?
Okay. Until next time. Take care, and thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Tonyalle Rush with us and talking about a lot of different things that you can all, find out at northwestms.edu. We pause, we come back, and we're going to move into the field of athletics, specifically men's basketball first. So this is what we have going on a Thursday, June 5, 2025. It's the Bank First Ranger Hour.
Thanks for listening to the Bank First Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour.
We thank Dr. Rush for being on with us, giving some info, whether it was on those cheer and dance camps. You got someone that wants to, for those days, June 12, June 13, get a little coaching from some national champions. You can do that. Orientation dates, and then, of course, enrollment up at NWCC for 4 straight years. At a time where not all of the colleges across Mississippi are growing, Northwest continues to do so, and her hard work is part of that. A couple of weeks ago, we had brand new men's basketball coach John Redmond on the program. He has since hired Aaron McIntyre to be his assistant, and Coach is on with us now. How you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Excited to get an opportunity to talk with you. And, after, hearing Coach Redmond and his plans and moving forward into what is next in men's basketball for NWCC, we're going to get some of those thoughts from you as well. But let's begin with a little background, kind of maybe where you're from, what part of Mississippi, and what you've been doing lately before getting to Northwest.
Okay, yeah. So I'm from South Haven, Mississippi. Lived there for 26 years. I still currently live there. From 2019 to 2023, I was with the Grizzlies doing basketball operations. And then last year, I landed a job as the assistant coach with Coach David Sanders at Copiah Lincoln Community College. Really enjoyed my time there. Coach Sanders he will be a Hall of Fame high school coach one day. Very successful in the community college ranks too. Won the MAC-CC championship in 2023. So, and just his second year coaching in JUCO. So very grateful for him. He gave me my first opportunity, learned a lot under him, and I'm excited now to be at Northwest.
It's funny when, we've never put eyes on one another. I would, although who knows, we could have been in an arena together somewhere along the way. And you start reading bios and things, and the people that listen to this show also know my involvement with the Memphis Grizzlies and back again for the last 3 years, and just doing road games, so not necessarily being in Memphis. And then you mentioned Coach David Sanders when he was playing basketball at Ole Miss. I was on the games with David Kellum and calling the games of the Provine Posse, right, when they were doing their things there. And so it is a small world, and especially, I don't know, I know it is in general, but, Aaron, I find it a lot in the world of sports, right, that there's, people always do that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing or whatever. But if you're in athletics, somehow, some way, you've almost been connected somewhere, and we find that we have that. Do you find that same thing sometimes?
Absolutely. Every coach is connected to a coach who's connected to a coach. So.
That's right. So you take this opportunity to join Northwest. Why did you decide? Is it coming back close to home, a relationship with Coach Redmond? What is it about coming to be an assistant at Northwest?
So Coach Redmond and I had never previously talked before he got this job. My biggest thing was I've coached AAU basketball in North Mississippi for 10 years now, and I feel like that's a great recruiting tool to just lock up North Mississippi for Northwest. All of the best North Mississippi players will want to play for Northwest. I think that was a good selling tool. And then obviously being closer to home. I actually went to Northwest in 2016. So this has always been my second home. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here.
You kind of then just kind of answered a question that was going to come, and that was what you would give as far as recruiting and helping Coach Redmond there. Obviously the AAU connections, but now you've got connections not just in North Mississippi, but your time spent kind of south of Jackson a little bit as well. Don't you feel like you have maybe a connection that you can bring talent from all over the state of Mississippi?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Being at Colin, very, very far south, it helped me a lot because I didn't know a ton of Jackson kids. I didn't know a ton of Coast kids, but now I do. And I think Northwest has all of the tools to bring in guys from far away because of the amenities and facilities on campus that we have. We have Chick-fil-A, the game room, the Ranger Nutrition. It's a great campus. I think it's the best campus in the state.
No doubt. Get an opportunity there at Howard Coliseum to bring those young men in. I know you've got to build that roster and do things, and we kind of talked with Coach Redmond. So what is the plan now, these months? As we said in June and July, will you be going like other college coaches around to some of these AAU events? What are the things you and Coach Redmond are currently working on to build the roster for the upcoming season?
Right now we have one out-of-state spot, so we're trying to fill that. But as of right now, every day this week I've been hitting summer league games.
Yeah.
High school team camps. Just trying to get a feel for what we can get in 2026, and that class is absolutely loaded. Just all throughout the state and within Memphis and Arkansas, it's a really good class. So I'm excited about that. And then we'll have elite camps coming up. We have our own team camp coming up next Wednesday, so that's kind of what we're working on right now. Just trying to get guys on campus and show our face in these different gyms across the state.
Sure. And then when you get them on campus and obviously show them the things that you've been talking about, hopefully Northwest can kind of sell itself, right?
Exactly, absolutely. I tell Coach Redmond that all the time. Like we're going to be the ground, the running on the ground, but Northwest is going to sell itself pretty much.
Yeah, I think so. What has been kind of a philosophy for you, maybe as a basketball player and as a coach? What kind of team would you like to see? Heavy defense, or do you want to see them get up and down the floor, score a bunch of points, or a combination of a little bit of everything?
I like both. I like to press. I like to play fast. I like to turn defense into offense. That's been my main philosophy really since I started becoming my own coach. You know, I learned under a few good guys that at the AAU ranks, and then Eric Vaughn, E.V. Geeker. He's been a really good mentor to me, and then obviously David Sanders, and now Coach John Redmond. So just learning under those guys, they all like to press, they all like to play fast. So that's kind of where I stand right now. It may change in the future.
Yeah, right. I understand. And look, coaches take from other teams, right? You get philosophies, You get things. You may play against a team and see something, and you're like, maybe we should, put that in the playbook. I get that. I do. So before I let you go, here at the back end of the show, with now our connections through the NBA, I'm going to ask you some questions about the finals that get started. The Pacers representing the East and OKC had an opportunity, I did, to see both of those teams. OKC maybe more times than wanted, but nonetheless, two really good teams, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if the Pacers can, what I was just kind of mentioning, get the basketball and run up and down the floor. Because in my opinion, Aaron, if you let OKC set up defensively, you're beat. You just can't beat those guys defensively. The way they work together, if you let them set up in a half court defense, you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually saw Coach Jason March probably a week ago, and I was asking him what his thoughts were on the Thunder, and he said they are the best defensive team he's seen since he's been coaching.
Yeah.
They just swarm. It's it's almost like they have 7 guys on the court on defense. It's very hard to beat. They pill switch. They switch everything. So my keys to the series, and mainly, I guess everyone's going with OKC. I've been reading that everybody's going with OKC. But my main 2 things would be, obviously the point guards are the big talk of the town. Shea Gilgeous versus Tyrese. But what are the second options going to do? Who's going to win the second option battle? Siakam or Jalen Williams? I think that's a big key. And then, can Indiana withstand the pressure of OKC's defense and not turn the ball over? I think that's a big key to the game, because OKC forces turnovers, and that's how they get most of their offense. If you can hold the ball and protect the ball, then I think Indiana has a really good chance, because both teams are really deep.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of interesting matchups. Miles Turner, how's he going to go, and what's Chet Holmgren going to do with him, or Isaiah Hartenstein, or whatever, as it is. I thought Anthony Edwards said it best after it was done. They're like 15 puppets on a string, right? And that's what you're looking for, right? Even at Northwest. Let's go back to Northwest quickly. You're going to be looking for those kinds of players and athletes that are just all an extension of each other, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, I'm at the end of this program. This will not be the last time we talk, because I do believe that I could have spent the next 5 minutes of this program that I have talking about NBA or whatever with you. And we'll try and do that maybe on another stage somewhere on another show. But thanks for your time talking Northwest. Welcome to NWCC, and we look forward to what happens.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right. There he is, new men's assistant basketball coach, Aaron McIntyre, from the DeSoto County area, made his way in a lot of different worlds in the coaching basketball realm, and now part of Coach Redmond's team at NWCC. It will be interesting to watch as that goes along. And I thank you good people out there for allowing me to do a little NBA discussion today with him, since he had been involved with both the Hustle and the Grizzlies over the last couple of years. I should have mentioned, because he's done a lot of video work too, and there's so many times in today's basketball coaching world, that's where some of now what have gone all the way through into the NBA are some of the best coaches out there, because they have watched so much film over and over and cut that film up and gotten it to whatever the head coach wants or whatever they want, and the offensive and defensive situations that they become some of the best coaches throughout. Hopefully that's the case with Coach McIntyre, and they're at NWCC. So you can go read up about him and more at NWCCRangers.com, and I also encourage you to go do that, because there are other great stories that Brian Lentz and Brian Oakley have been working on and put up for you. More softball news with summer ties chosen in the NFCA Division II All-American list. You have volleyball players moving on to 4-year programs, soccer stars going all over the place, more with softball, anything you might want in the sports world. You can go read that at NWCCRangers.com. You also can go to the HeindelCenter.org and see the fall lineup. Next week, Blake Bostic, who is director of the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts, will be the entire show, as all of the dates will be released by next week. I think there's one last one that will come tomorrow. So we'll get that discussion started, and we'll begin with Lance Burton, the Magician, and Friends, that will start August the 23rd, and then we'll roll through the fall months and all of those that are going to be making their way into North Mississippi, into Senatobia, and the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts. So Blake Bostic will be next week's Bank First Ranger Hour. We'll get into all of that discussion with him, of the great acts he's been able to find and those that are going to make their way through North Mississippi, starting on August 23rd and rolling through into the months of fall and into our winter months and everything that's going to be going on. You know, there have been those, holiday movies and different things that he has done throughout. I'm sure we'll get into some of that and all coming up on next week's program. But HeindelCenter.org, you want to go find them all out? Those that have been announced so far, go give it a look. Good acts of all different kinds of music, genre, and more, and the different things that you can pick up. We'll also be able next week to talk to you about ticket packages, the season tickets, whether you want to give over the holidays some gift situations or whatever it might be. We'll talk with Blake Bostic next week. We thank Dr. Tonyalle Rush as the Vice President of Student Services and Enrollment Management. She talked with us today about cheer and dance camp coming up next Thursday and Friday. Also with orientation dates and how enrollment continues to move in the right direction at NWCC. Most all of the information you can find at northwestms.edu, and you can get your youngster into those camps or find out any of the orientation dates, and then our conversation with Coach Aaron McIntyre, new assistant men's basketball coach with Coach Redmond at Northwest. And as you mentioned, high schools are doing some summer league stuff. There are other camps and different things that are going on, including their own elite camp coming up soon. And so we thank Coach McIntyre for being on the program during that time. Now, though, more on Super Talk 93.7. You know the rundown on the Thursday and how it goes. I'll be back and talk with you in the morning. So long.